Hey everybody, this is Rick Case with Case Factor and the program Napkin to Shelf on school.com. What I want to show you today is a quick view or a sneak peek at our classroom and our pillar number 2, as well as walk you through what we call the sausage machine. So let's get to it. So we go to the classroom and we click on pillar 2, and just so you know what's in pillar 2, the things we're going to cover in pillar 2 are patent and trademark strategy. We're going to talk about some case studies. I'm also going to introduce you, if you need an IP attorney, to some of my personal contacts. We're going to develop a product requirements document. We do a competitive and market analysis. We cover cost and pricing model, and we also do supply chain and sourcing and regulatory mapping and risk awareness. All of that is part of the second pillar, and what I'm going to show you today is the costing and pricing model, which I call the sausage machine. So let's go take a look at the sausage machine. As you can see, it's an Excel spreadsheet. It is a price waterfall, which if you feed information into it all the way down at the bottom, it spits out what your contribution margin profit dollars are and percentage. Let me walk you through here. I've got 2 sheets. The first sheet is the direct to consumer tab. We're just going to focus on that one today. We're going to look at a $50 product, MSRP, and you selling it direct to consumer for 50 bucks. Up here we have some things hard coded, which are going to come down below the line. 3.5% credit card processing fee, 2% customer acquisition cost or ad spend, and then 1% estimated cost of returns. These are fed in here to create different scenarios. This scenario is a direct to consumer scenario. So let's take a look at this column here. 50 bucks, you're selling the product for $50. Let's assume your product cost is $10. You're going to have customs. Right now, the average customs rate in the United States as of November 3rd, 2025 was 18%. And your product may come in lower or it might come in higher, but we're using 18% in this example. That yields $1.80 in custom fees, and then we calculate $1 per unit shipping from the factory to your door. And what we're trying to get to is a product cost and ultimately a landed cost. Your product landed at your door with tariffs and shipping is $12.80 in this example, with a gross profit margin of $37.20 or almost 75%. Once we get there, we start going down into the post-landed costs, and we see that credit card processing is the first one. That's calculated up here. So 3.5% of $50 is $1.75. We do the same thing with the customer acquisition cost here, and I calculate in for this example $1 in shipping outbound to your customer, direct consumer. That could vary wildly, but for this example, we're charging the customer for shipping. And we come down, you can see there are other categories in the post-landed cost. Here in this model, we've got a royalty, I've got 3PL pick and pack fees, some labor costs, boxes. Depending on your company and your product, these are going to be different, and you'll be able to label them differently and build out this machine. And here's our 1% returns or defective allowance for a total variable cost below the line of $4.32. Combine that $4.32 with the $12.80 up here, and that gets us to $17.12. $50 minus $17.12 nets us $32.88 per unit. That's your contribution margin, dollars, $32.88 a unit, 65, almost 66% contribution margin percentage. And we even do something called the break-even sell-through, which if you get to pillar 2, I'll explain that to you. So that's it. That's the sausage machine. There's a lot more to cover. We do different scenarios in direct-to-consumer. You can see wholesale if you want to sell to retail, wholesaling it out, even distribution, and all the way to international. So a number of ways that you can run scenarios here with the sausage machine. And I'm excited for you to get to that point because it's really eye-opening and enlightening. So back to Napkin to Shelf and the school community. Join the free community at school.com/napkin to shelf. And I'll see you inside the program. Thank y'all.